Doug Peterson has transformed the Jaguars into one of the most explosive teams in the NFL. The Jaguars haven't always been a team with the power they need and a dominant defense. So how did they turn all of this around to turn into a dominant force at the start of the year? And what are they struggling with now? Let's dive in. How successful are the Jaguars now? When they started the season, they were 2-1 under their new coach Doug Peterson, and the Jaguars had easily outscored the Colts and Chargers in their past 2 games. They have done this by relying on an explosive offense that has put up 62 points while their defense has only given up 10. Not only are they putting up points, but they're doing it in a way that suggests these numbers aren't a fluke. With these new wins, it's abundantly clear what the Jaguars think of Peterson. He's saving their team. Peterson and the Jaguars dominated a shorthanded Chargers squad on the road, with Peterson's coaching aggressiveness playing a massive part. Though there have been some doubts due to the recent losses, there's still a major change on the part of the Jaguars when compared to some of their incredibly horrible previous seasons, and it's clear that Peterson was a big part of this. Was Peterson the only reason the Jaguars managed to win? Although Peterson does deserve a lot of credit, he's not the only reason the Jaguars have won. They also have a lot to do with their quarterback, Lawrence. And it's not just Lawrence. With James Robinson breaking off a 50-yard run against the Chargers, the Jaguars have shown they can run the ball as well. It's definitely clear that Peterson deserves a lot of credit for the improvement of his team and Lawrence's improvement. After all, a head coach has the job of inspiring the quarterback, training them, and forcing them to perform better than they thought possible. And with Lawrence looking outstanding, it's safe to say that Peterson has accomplished all of those things. What's the secret to Peterson's success? There's no question that Peterson's main strong suit is malleability. He understands that each team is different and needs to be coached in its own unique way. The Jaguars are a perfect example of this. With a young quarterback and an explosive offense, they need to be coached in a way that takes advantage of their strengths. Peterson is definitely doing that. The Jaguars ran the ball 37 times against the Colts and 36 times against the Chargers. This type of coaching is what has helped the Eagles to be so successful in the past, and it's clear that Peterson is using that same formula with the Jaguars. What did Doug Peterson have to say about all of this? Peterson recently spoke out about the Jaguars' performance and the biggest issue that they needed to fix in order to be more successful. It just comes down to when you get opportunities to get after the opposing passer, we've got to do everything we can to do that, Peterson said. It's no different offensively. If there's a 3rd and 8, we've got to do everything in our power to stay on the field and complete the pass or make that run. It goes hand in hand. We've just got to be able to get it all together. I think that's where we're sort of a little bit out of whack right now, as we haven't been able to play complementary football together, and that's what needs to get fixed. Clearly, complementary football is something that Peterson preaches, and it's something that the Jaguars definitely need to work on if they want to be a dominant force in the NFL. Essentially, this means getting both sides of the ball to play well enough to win at the same time, and that's definitely easier said than done. However, if anyone can do it, it's Peterson. He's shown time and time again that he's a master at getting the most out of his teams, and there's no doubt that he'll continue to do so with the Jaguars. Though the team might not be currently functioning at the highest level, it's still doing much better than before his coaching and his introduction to the team. But is he able to turn it around completely? Will this even be possible for the Jaguars? Playing this way isn't a completely foreign concept for the Jaguars. The offense and defense both looked stellar in the team's back-to-back blowout wins over the Colts and Los Angeles Chargers in September. So it's definitely possible for the Jaguars to string together a few more dominant performances. However, they'll need to be more consistent if they want to be a force to be reckoned with. Though they've struggled this year, it's definitely not as horrible as previous years, and they could potentially turn this season around. Wait, what did Doug Peterson have to say about Trevor Lawrence? Trevor's young, he's learning this game, and one thing I appreciate about Trevor is his work ethic and how hard he wants to improve and get better and help this team win, Peterson said. I also want him to understand that he doesn't have to do it himself. There are 10 other guys out there, and the coaches put him in a position to be successful. The Jaguars quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, started his season with 6 touchdowns and only 1 interception in his first 3 games. Then he was responsible for 7 turnovers in the team's back-to-back losses. It's clear that Peterson is trying to instill a sense of confidence in Lawrence, and there's no doubt that he needs it if the Jaguars want to be successful. However, it's also clear that Peterson is aware of Lawrence's issues and is working to fix them. There's got to be patience with that, Peterson said, of the 23-year-old quarterback's development so far. We can't wait too long, but at the same time, it's our job as coaches coaches to make sure that he's improving every week, pointing out the good and the bad. That's just how you grow and how you learn. So what's the verdict? Doug Peterson is definitely a great coach, and he's shown that he has the ability to turn a team around. The Jaguars are currently doing better than they have in years past, and there's no doubt that Peterson is a big part of the reason why. However, the Jaguars still have a lot to work on if they want to be a truly dominant force in the NFL. They'll need to be more consistent and learn how to play complementary football if they want to take their game to the next level. What's the future for Doug Peterson and the Jaguars? If the Jaguars can string together a few more dominant performances, there's no doubt that Peterson will be praised for his coaching ability. However, if they continue to struggle, Peterson will undoubtedly be blamed. That's just the way it goes in the NFL, and Peterson is well aware of that. It's always about the next game and the next win, and that's all Peterson is focused on right now, forcing the Jaguars to be better each and every week. Have the Jaguars fallen off a cliff in the last 3 weeks? The Jaguars were one of the NFL's top units through the first 3 weeks of the season, but have fallen off significantly in the last 3. Sunday's performance in a 34-27 loss to the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium was the latest breakdown, and now they're scrambling to try and figure out how to stop the slide. The main thing is we've got to have everybody to continue to believe in what we've got going on and understand that we have everything that we need to contend and make it happen, quarterback Shaquille Griffin said. So we just got to get this taste out of our mouth. It's tough to go 3 in a row and not get the numbers or the win that you deserve. The main thing is we've got to wash this off. The Jaguars were as high as a kite when they hammered the Colts during week 1. Since then, they've been on a steady decline, losing 3 straight games and getting outscored 106-54. They've given up at least 30 points in all 3 losses, and their once vaunted defense has been shredded. Their struggles have only been made worse from an injury standpoint. They've lost 2 of their best players to season-ending injuries in the last 2 weeks, and their offense has been without its powerhouse these past few games. Summing it up, Doug Peterson has definitely had a hand in turning the Jaguars around. With their initial success, it's definitely possible for the Jaguars to turn their season around. However, they'll need to be more consistent if they want to be a force to be reckoned with. These past few weeks have been tough for the Jaguars, but it just remains to be seen if they'll manage to pull off a miracle. But what do you think? Do you see Doug Peterson and the Jaguars turning their season around? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for this video. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already.